Hey guys, it's Wither here. I'm going to be providing a little bit of tips and tricks here for leveling. Some of the basics that I've come to learn as I've leveled way too many alts. I will have a more advanced video out here in a little bit, but first I'd like to put this one out as my very first video for you guys. I hope you enjoy, and if you do enjoy, please subscribe down below and leave a comment. Let me know what video you'd like to see next, or if you'd like to have me extrapolate off of anything here. Let's get into it.
Alright, before we begin, this guide is meant to be used for any class. Some classes level faster or slower than others, but the information going forward is general enough to apply to everyone, no matter what character you're making. In 8.1, with regards to class, make sure if you're trying to level optimally, definitely select the correct spec for the best speed leveling. Some classes are obviously pigeonholed into certain content based on spec. Tanks and healers typically have an easier time dungeon grinding versus questing. This is due to queue timers and being able to control the pace of the group, and other aspects of their class design. This even impacts characters that are full DPS. A certain spec of rogue may be better at leveling through questing than other specs. Frost mages typically have an easier time running through quest mobs than a fire mage due to their survivability and their crowd control capability. Make sure to do your research on your own and experiment to find what's best for you. There are also many websites and resources you can use that will help you a lot on your journey. The first site I'd recommend is wowhead.com. It's amazing and probably the most useful out there. Secondarily, I would use the Blizzard forums, Noxic, and Icy Veins. Each one of these has plenty of helpful information. You do have to sift through some misinformation occasionally on each of these, as everything's user generated. The next thing to talk about is your character's specialization and talents. If you want to spam dungeons, then running a tank or a healer is probably best. That way you can queue over and over while sitting in a rested area like an inn or a major city. However, for everyone else that wants to experience the rest of the game, the best way to level is questing. It's not the simplest, but it is the fastest. So for that, I'd recommend a DPS spec. Make sure to choose wisely, and I'm going to give you some tips on what types of talent to look out for in your build. First up, movement speed. It is absolutely crucial for questing, dungeoning, PvP. Any way you want to level, movement speed will always help you out. Some examples are Trailblazer for the Survival Hunter or Night Stalker for the Subtlety Rogue. Next up is your on-kill effects. You will be killing a lot of mobs whether you're running dungeons or doing quests. A great example of this is the Fury Warrior's War Machine talent. It gives you a buff on kill, and it also increases your movement speed. It's a 2-for-1. Next, we'll definitely want to do more damage. Anytime you can kill something faster, it is obviously a priority. So any talent that increases your damage, which should be most of them, make sure if you can't pick a movement speed or an on-kill effect, to grab something that helps you kill faster. Dying is also a huge drag on your experience per hour. In order to combat this, the best thing you can do is grab a couple survivability talents and make sure you don't overpull. You cannot gain experience while dead. The burning question in everyone's mind is, what activities should I do in order to level the best? This has no real short answer, but my best attempt is do them all. Try to mix it up so you don't get burnt out from grinding, but also it is actually more efficient. If you want to do a dungeon as a DPS role, for example, the queue time might take 10 or so minutes, which could be a great time for you to blast out a few quests. Oh yeah, and while you're doing that, you can grab those copper ore nodes if you picked mining as one of your professions. This can sometimes be close to a third of a quest completion. The long answer is there is actually a priority. It can be looked up, or I'll cover it in my more advanced guide. The next topic and final topic for this basic video that I would like to touch on is items. The most obvious item that you could use for leveling is the heirloom armor. This gives you a direct gain to experience percentage, much like the potions do. Potions are just as important, but the armor sticks with you forever and it never goes away. Some indirectly useful items would be the goblin gliders from engineering. Those help you get from point A to point B much faster than a ground mount will if you don't have flying. Other useful items might be food for food buffs, or health potions or mana potions to keep you in the fight longer and to keep you grinding. I hope this video was helpful. Please subscribe and leave a comment whether you liked it or you hated it. Both comments are equally useful to me. This is my first one. I am going to create a much more in-depth guide later. Thanks for watching.